Now at 6, Baxter Springs tries to help laid-off plant workers find jobs. Plus, the public turns out for a bridge renaming ceremony honoring a fallen JPD officer. And the Joplin Civil Air Patrol Squadron hosts a blood drive.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
As Baxter Springs, Kansas deals with 2 plant closings, the community is trying to connect job seekers with potential employers. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. The Cherokee County Economic Development Corporation organized a job fair in Baxter Springs. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
Cherokee County is trying to be proactive when it comes to recent plant closings. The Economic Development Corporation hosted a job fair showcasing the job opportunities in Baxter Springs and surrounding areas.
We actually invited employers from Missouri and Oklahoma, since we're so close to the border, to join us at the job fair today. So we're hoping that those that live in Oklahoma, maybe they can find something a little bit closer to their home. Although we would like to keep them in Kansas, we still invited some employers from out of state.
The job fair started at 1 p.m., but the first hour was dedicated to job seekers who recently experienced layoffs due to Yellow Freight and King Louie closings.
There were several employees, 70 plus, who are set to lose their employment, and so that can't help but have an effect on the economy. So that's kind of the point of the job fair, is that we're hoping if they can continue their employment and not have that loss of income, then that will help our entire county and the whole region as a whole.
The Kansas Works Mobile Center was available for on-site resume building. Former employees of King Louie say the resources here are helpful.
I think it's pretty neat. There was more people than I was expecting here, that's for sure. And like that place, I didn't even hear of that place before, but
yes, I do feel more hopeful. The community is coming together for the people at King Louie and for Yellow, and there's a lot of opportunity.
Reporting in Baxter Springs, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
That fair ran from 1 to 4 p.m. at First Christian Church. Boy, beautiful weather out there. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, fantastic. We got a little bit of rain in here yesterday evening into the overnight hours. Then sunshine returned for us today. Temperatures really can't beat it. Look at us right now. Most of us mid to upper 70s outside. We have had a few little clouds kind of streaming through, but it looks good. We can go outside, 7th and range line, sitting at 77, northerly winds at about 5 to 10. Now, as we go through the evening hours, if you do want to get outside and enjoy it, look at this. Our temps drop back through the 70s, 60s, all the way down into the mid 50s for overnight lows for us tonight. We do have a few little clouds kind of skirting through, but in general, it looks pretty good across the entire Central Plains. Thicker clouds staying mainly to our south. And as we look down the road, we are going to get a little bit of patchy fog in here tonight. It's going to drop back into the mid 50s. Warming up near 80 tomorrow. Some rain chances later in the week. Of course, we're going to break that down for you here in just a bit.
Catch you then. Authorities are investigating a drowning in a strip pit in northern Cherokee County that occurred this afternoon. Investigators say a Galena man was fishing with a relative when he slipped on the embankment and went into the water. Authorities have not yet released his identity. Members of the public came out today for a bridge renaming ceremony honoring a fallen Joplin police officer. The ceremony took place on the newly named Officer Jake Reed Memorial Bridge, located at 1200 East 20th Street. During the ceremony, Officer Reed's family received the Joplin Police Department Medal of Honor. Officer Reed was killed in the line of duty in March of last year after trying to arrest a suspect who was involved in a disturbance and attempted theft. Today's ceremony included the official unveiling of the signage for the Officer Jake Reed Memorial Bridge. Some Joplin service organizations teamed up today to give blood. The Colonel Travis Hoover Composite Squadron co-sponsored the blood drive with the American Red Cross and the Joplin Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 534 Auxiliary. The event took place at the VFW Bingo Hall in Joplin this afternoon.
I feel like it's the best way to help my community and to let older people know that there are younger people who are willing to help in stuff like this and to help build our communities.
The Air Patrol provides humanitarian assistance in addition to its emergency services mission. Parsons, Kansas organization today hosted a barbecue to help fund some future adventures. The Dream Advocacy Group provides resources and experiences for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Some of those experiences come in the form of group trips, and today's event raised money for those trips.
I think that it's important for people to understand that they are just like us and that they have rights just like we do. And I think that learning and interacting with them helps people be more comfortable with them.
People at that event could get a barbecue lunch for $5 and participate in a beanbag toss, little cornhole. Coming up, fall means school sports, and this year brings an old issue, a lack of referees. KOAM's Fernanda Silva takes us to Joplin High School to look for solutions. Plus, the Chiefs have an answer for at least one of their early season concerns. John has details coming up in sports. School sports are back to an old issue, a referee shortage. In this region, every week about 6 high school football games are played on Thursdays or Saturdays instead of Fridays because of that shortage. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the story.
In the very first game of the season, the Joplin High School football team couldn't play on the traditional Friday night. The reason? There were not enough officials to cover the game. While the Thursday night game didn't impact attendance, it affected the players.
Having to play on a Thursday, kind of changed that week. We had less preparation from the week before, and so being able to make those adjustments was probably the biggest issue.
According to the people that we spoke to, the referee shortage is an ongoing problem that the Joplin High School football game just brought to the spotlight. But other sports also have to deal with it.
Libby Mann, Joplin High School junior, plays soccer among other sports. She says the game changes when there are 2 instead of 3 referees on the field.
You kind of get the idea that you have to be a little more grittier, I feel like, because the other girls are going to be more aggressive if they're not being looked at the whole time.
The concern about the referee shortage increases as the temperature decreases.
When you get a game that has to be postponed because of snow or something like that, you need to be careful on what nights you put it back on, you reschedule it on, because there may not be officials available that night.
So you might have 12 games one night and only have enough officials to cover 9 of those games.
The shortage could be related with the way coaches and supporters treat referees.
People have kind of gotten out of control at some of the contests, and who wants to go out and get yelled at for an hour and a half.
The official is everybody's favorite punching bag, which is not fair.
While affected by the shortage, Joplin High School is taking action to support the referees and umpires.
We work hard with our coaches on learning how to properly communicate. We need all of our fans to remember that this is education-based athletics. They're there to support our team and our students.
In Joplin, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Now, according to the Joplin Umpire Association, this shortage has been a trend in the last 5 years. They're encouraging people who might be interested in being a referee or umpire to contact them. A little bit later, the wording of a ballot measure reignites the issue of abortion rights in the Show Me states.
Plus, we cool down a little bit for us tonight. Also some fog. We're going to check that out coming up. It turned out to be a terrific Tuesday for us today. A little bit of rain for us yesterday evening into the overnight hours, which was great because we needed it. And then today, fantastic temperatures across the region. Partly sunny skies. A few little cumulus clouds out there, but overall, it looks pretty good. Here's a nice shot. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, Indigo, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, we did get some rain yesterday. Now, since midnight, not much, just 2/100ths of an inch. For the month, we're sitting at about 6/10ths of an inch, but still way behind. Average is 33, we're at 22, so we're about 11 inches below where we should be for this time of the year, and that's why we still have the drought issues across the region. A little bit better once you get south of I-44. Once you go north along I-49 into Barton, also Vernon County, it gets worse, and then also out in our far western county. So any rain we can get, we will definitely take it. 77 in Stockton, Carthage, 74 in Monette, We have 77 in Jay, Chetopa 77, 76 in Pittsburgh. Chanute is sitting at 78. Let's go outside. 7th and Rangeline, 77. Northerly winds, light, 5 to 10. Visibility is good. You can see about 10 miles across the region. Through the evening, of course, evening daylight hours shrinking up on us very quickly. We're going to drop back through the 70s, 60s, mid-50s a little bit later on tonight. Can't see the little puffy cumulus clouds which are working through, but overall we look pretty good. Any thicker clouds, any showers staying to our south. We do have out to the west, you can see a few little ripples in the upper level flow, so those are some weak waves which are going to head toward us, but not till late in the week. So we're going to get some pretty good weather as we go through the next few days. Let's step you through time. We're going to stop tomorrow morning. Kind of cool. Look at this, 53 in Lamar, 54 in Miami, 54 in Chanute. Partly sunny skies, we warm, mid-70s by noon, and then most of us upper 70s to around 80. About 80 in Lamar, 79 Neosho, Miami 80, Pittsburgh up to about 79 degrees. Tomorrow night we do get some clouds, so partly cloudy, but again we drop back mid to upper 50s for overnight lows. And then once we go into Thursday, also looking pretty good. Partly sunny, high temperatures right around 80 degrees. So pretty consistent over the next couple days. All right, here's your day planner for you tomorrow. If you are going to be out tonight, watch out for a little bit of patchy fog. 74 by noon, 77 by 4. High temp right around 79 degrees. Our next chance for rain, a weak wave is going to rotate in on Friday night into Saturday. So this could at least give us a few showers. Besides that, we're pretty quiet the rest of the week. All right, 79 tomorrow, 80 on Thursday, 81 on Friday. Few showers into the beginning of the weekend. 83 Saturday, 85 on Sunday. Slowly kind of creeping up the temperature scale a little bit as we go into next week, but overall, not bad.
Yeah, those temperatures, I would say, are pretty close to perfect.
Yep, looks pretty good.
Thanks, Doug. Some challengers are seeking a rewrite of Missouri abortion rights ballot measures, calling them misleading. Lawyers argued over the Secretary of State's summary of the amendment. The summary says the amendments would allow dangerous and unregulated abortions until live birth. The Missouri ACLU says the amendments would enshrine reproductive rights in the Constitution, including the right to abortion and birth control. A Missouri judge is expected to rule on the ballot summaries next week. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey launches an investigation into the maker of a gun safe. The investigation comes on the heels of Liberty Safe, providing the Federal Bureau of Investigation with the password of a customer's safe at the law enforcement agency's request. The FBI did not have a court order for Liberty Safe to provide the safe's combination. The investigation will look into whether Liberty Safe fully discloses to its customers the terms under which it will allow third parties to access a customer's safe. Still ahead, Carthage and Webb City headline a busy day of high school softball in Missouri and a breakdown of the details about Chris Jones' new contract with the Chiefs. John Dales has those stories and more coming up next.
Pittsburgh State Volleyball opens conference play as we speak at John Lance Arena. Fresh off hosting the Gorilla Classic tournament this past weekend when PSU finished 3-1 with wins over Drury, Northwestern Oklahoma, and Arkansas Fort Smith. This evening, the Gorillas take on Newman at home. It's the start of the conference slate in the 8th season under Jen Gomez. The Gorillas have 3 players that were voted to the all-tournament team from this past weekend, those being Ivy Fink, Seville Gates, and Jaden Jackson. And we'll have highlights from this evening's match tonight at 10. It's another busy weeknight for high school softball in Missouri as well. One of those contests being a COC rivalry game between Webb City and Carthage. That game got started at 4:30. Tigers enter this contest looking to turn things around, having lost 4 of their last 5. Meanwhile, Webb City on a hot streak, winners of 5 of their last 6. We'll have highlights from that game as well on KOAM News at 10. Another District 7 game happening as we speak. Carl Junction looking to bounce back from a home loss to Seneca yesterday evening. Today, Neosho comes to town. Wildcats went 4-0 in the Ozarks Fall Festival tournament over the weekend. Then finally to the Big 8. McDonald County and Seneca, as Seneca travels there. Yesterday was the Indians' first win of the season at Carl Junction. They try to make it 2 in a row against the Mustangs, who are 2-1 in home games so far this year. Over to the NFL. Yesterday, the Chiefs and Chris Jones came to an agreement on a new contract that has him eligible to play as soon as this Sunday. After the offseason contract holdout extended into Week 1, on Twitter, Jones replied yesterday saying, "Tune in Sunday," to a fan calling him out. Now, we also have the details of that new contract. Same base salary as before, but performance incentives could add nearly $6 million more to it. Jones gets $1 million if he participates in 35% of Chiefs defensive snaps. Add another $1 million to that total if he participates in 50% of them. If Jones gets 10 sacks, he earns another $1.25 million. That goes up to $1.75 with 15 sacks. Then, if he's a first-team All-Pro like last year, Defensive Player of the Year, and the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, that's an additional $3 million. And if you tuned in to Monday Night Football, last night you saw Aaron Rodgers get carted off the field just 4 snaps into his first game with the Jets after 18 seasons in Green Bay. And that'll be the extent of his 2023 season. The team announces today the injury is a torn left Achilles tendon, which will sideline Rodgers for the whole year. The 39-year-old 4-time MVP is under contract with New York for the 2024 season as well. That's it for sports. We're back after this.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Pittsburgh City Commission hosts a special meeting to discuss plans to address the rising homeless population. Plus, Pittsburgh Community Schools hosts an open house of the new middle school renovations. And with a possible auto workers strike looming, we're going to see what it could mean for people looking to buy a car. Those stories, a lot more, of course, is coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. You've heard the expression, going to the dogs. Well, it looks like parts of Pittsburgh are going to the goats. The city of Pittsburgh hired about 36 goats to help clear away brush from the city's parks. The 4-legged lawnmowers come from Oscar Mike Goat Rental, a veteran-owned and operated vegetation management company. For park staff, the addition seemed like a logical solution.
We wanted to try to reduce our chemical footprint. We can use Roundup and other controlling chemicals on these areas, but we wanted to try to do a green technology. I don't know if goats are technology or not, but we wanted to try that. It eliminates staff from having to get into the poison ivy.
The goats were brought in to take down invasive weeds and hazardous vegetation while reducing the city's chemical footprint. I don't know if the goats will eat just anything, but they will eat quite a lot, and they provide a little fertilizer in the process.
They definitely do.
Weather looking pretty nice.
Yeah, it looks great. Tonight we're going to drop back mid-50s for overnight lows. Watch out for some patchy fog. 79 tomorrow, 80 on Thursday. A few showers trying to work in on Friday and Saturday.
Thanks for joining us. We're going to see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.